Nintendo Switch Online has always been a heavily debated topic when it comes to the Nintendo Switch. Obviously, for the majority of the Switch's lifespan, I think, Nintendo Switch Online didn't exist. It was kind of like a free trial period for everyone to just kind of use online for free. However, September of 2018 came around and Nintendo Switch Online launched to, let's just say, more than mixed reviews. Actually, people were pretty upset at this service, claiming that it didn't, offer enough and that it was just overall really lackluster. However, a lot of people said that if they added in something like SNES games, then it would kind of be worth it. However, September 2019 came around, we got SNES games, and no one talks about them. I can't remember the last time I heard anyone talk about how SNES games helped Switch Online at all, and everyone's kind of just defaulted back to Switch Online sucks and not really talked about SNES games at all. So it's clear that even though Switch Online is selling well, the majority of users are not really happy about it. It's kind of a necessity to play games online. It's not something you choose to buy. Or it's not something people would buy if they, could avoid it. However, there are 5 major things that PJ and I wrote down here that we think, could fix Switch Online and make it a service that consumers are actually excited for, rather than kind of dread seeing that renewal come back up because they know they're paying for something that is pretty pointless. So hey guys, it's Thomas from the Switch Shop.
And PJ, and today we're going to be talking about 5 things we think will improve Nintendo Switch Online and actually make it worth purchasing. So just a little disclaimer before we actually get started on our list. Most of these, but pretty much like all of these on this list, likely won't happen. It's just something we would want to see. So first off, obviously more games from different consoles such as N64 and the Game Boy. And obviously how they have this running trend going, how they have these controller Joy-Cons. As we can see, the N64 wouldn't quite fit that. So Nintendo logic would be that it wouldn't end up happening, but I still do believe that N64 games will show up on Switch Online sometime. But just a little example for like N64 games we could see something like Super Mario 64, Ocarina of Time, Mario Kart 64, along with Banjo-Kazooie. And for Game Boy, obviously all of those Pokemon games, Emerald, Ruby, Sapphire, Fire Red, just Mario and Luigi games, even Mother 3, if that's possible. Highly doubt it, but obviously those games are all really fun and a part of my childhood, and I would like to see them on Switch Online again, but unfortunately I just don't think it'll end up making it.
So I actually do think that we will either get N64 or Game Boy Online at some point. The real dream for me would be GameCube Online, and I've heard a lot of people say it's impossible, and while I agree that it probably won't happen, it actually would be possible. The main reason people think it's impossible is because GameCube games are so hefty in terms of, storage size and stuff, that downloading a bunch of GameCube, I think they're CIA files, to emulate on the Switch would really just chew through the Switch's internal storage. And while that is true, they could easily get around that by just allowing users to download the GameCube games that they want to play instead of, all 30 of them like, Switch Online for the NES has and the SNES. So it's definitely more than possible, but unfortunately I just don't think it will happen. But it would definitely help to, fix the Switch Online and add more value to the service. The next thing we really want to see added is something that is definitely not going to happen. This is more of a Microsoft or Sony idea, just because, they understand online a bit more than Nintendo. But something like a party system would work wonders on the Switch and make Switch Online feel like it actually, is worth it, because you'd be getting value from it. Basically, a party system on Switch would have to function a bit differently from PS4 or Xbox Live, just because the Switch doesn't have like a microphone and you can't really plug in your headphones to the Joy-Con because that's not a thing. But they could easily add a party system with just like the texting functionality that is on the PS4 party system, I know. And then the best part about this would be if you are in a party with someone and they load up a game, they could maybe send a request to say, hey, do you want to join my Mario Kart 8 Deluxe lobby? And that would just happen through the party system, and that way for games like Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, if you just wanted to play a battle against one friend, you wouldn't have to set up an entire battle arena. It would just kind of be built in with the party system, so to speak.
So on our list, I think this is probably the most unlikely one, just based on how Nintendo games work versus how online games such as like popularized Call of Duty kind of shaped Xbox Live and PSN for what it is today. I think a lot of people can agree with that, but do think that this should happen, but it just won't, due to just like the games that Nintendo puts out, like Smash Bros and Splatoon and Mario Kart. I just don't quite think it would fit that criteria that the Xbox and PlayStation have. And next up, we have better servers. Now, if you guys actually watched my old channel, you would know that I was always complaining about Smash Bros Online and how the P2P servers kind of ruined it for me. And to this day, I still think that Nintendo should have dedicated servers, but instead they just have this peer-to-peer system, which is basically based off of you and your opponent's connection, and don't actually have like dedicated servers. So it has its positives and its negatives, but overall I think they should just have dedicated instead, because I've had a lot of experiences where another player is just really laggy and then it just kind of ruins the experience. Overall, peer-to-peer is just like okay. I'm more focused on Smash Bros when I'm looking at Switch Online, because that's primarily what I play, so I guess it's a little biased. But Thomas actually has a bit of a unique view on the servers and peer-to-peer and just how it is in general.
So, don't bully me in the comments, but just a few days ago I was actually playing the game ARMS. I know that game literally fell off like no more than a month after it came out, so playing it 2 years or over 2 years after it came out is pretty unusual, but I was playing it because I did pretty much really enjoy that game, even though there was a lack of content, but that's a video for another time. Basically, I was playing the game's online party mode, and I was only getting matched up with Japanese players. Now, this is obviously like not many people in the United States are playing ARMS. I understand that. Not many people in the United States are even playing ARMS like party mode. Like, I get that probably the majority of people playing were in Japan, but I still feel like there were, you know, there were some people in the United States it could have matched me up with. And even if for some reason just the way the players were playing at the time, I had to be matched up with people in Japan, the servers were unbelievably bad. Like, I understand that it's halfway across the world, but if we're paying $20 for like this online service, I should at least be able to play a match. Every single match I played, it canceled me out because of a communication error, and it's not because of my Wi-Fi, because my Wi-Fi is perfectly fine, and I ran a network test on my Switch right after that, and it connected without a problem. So it's just the servers are pretty frustrating. Like, they're frustrating for a game like Smash Bros Ultimate, which is still very much so alive. So in like maybe 5 or 10 years, when like half the games on the Switch are essentially dead, it's really not. I'm really not looking forward to seeing how the servers are then, because right now they're not even that good. So yeah, it's pretty disheartening, and I'd love to see some, you know, dedicated servers which would kind of remedy this problem in the future. So the fourth thing on our list is Nintendo Switch Online game vouchers, or at least a deal similar to it. So anyone who remembers earlier this year, obviously we got a game called Mario Maker 2, and with that game we got the weirdest yet coolest promotion I think Nintendo's done in a long time, called the Nintendo Switch Online game vouchers, or something like that, where basically you would spend $100 on the eShop and receive 2 digital game vouchers, which would essentially allow you to download any game that you wanted. So obviously you could technically have spent those on games that were only like $20 or so, but most people who had brains spent those on $60 games, essentially allowing you to get 2 $60 Nintendo games for $20 off, or $100 total, which would normally be $120. For some reason they got rid of this. I don't understand why. It sold crazy, and I know I bought actually multiple of these $100 packs just because I knew it would, you know, benefit me in the future. I can't really see this being bad for Nintendo. I mean, it was getting people to spend more money on the eShop, and I don't know, I just don't understand why they got rid of this deal. It was a perfectly cool, unique thing they could have used to advertise Switch Online more, but then they got rid of it. So bring back stuff like this, or at least deals similar in the same vein. Maybe just like, I don't know, 20% off pre-orders of games, or something like that. I'm just throwing numbers out there, but like bringing back some sort of eShop deal would be great and a huge way to justify, getting Switch Online. So the last thing on this list is by far what I think is never gonna happen. I really could never see this happening pretty much with any console ever, but it's really cool and a great idea, so I just needed to throw it out there. Basically, Steam launched something recently, I believe it's called Steam Online Couch Co-op, something along those lines, where basically it allows you to play couch co-op over the internet, which really should have just been, it should already exist, but it's not, and Steam just launched it and it's so cool. Basically, what it allows you to do is take a game like New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. Obviously that game's not on Steam, just let me use this as an example. New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe does not have an online functionality. It has zero online capabilities at all. Basically, the way this supposed Switch couch co-op online thing works, which is just ripping off the Steam version, would basically mean that one Switch is running the game. One Switch either has the game downloaded or a cartridge in and is running the game. It is also simultaneously streaming the display to another Switch over, the internet. That's where the online function comes in. Then the person on the other end is using their controller, and those control inputs are being sent obviously from the controller to their Switch, which is then sending those control inputs all the way back over to the base Switch that is running the game, and the base Switch is receiving those control inputs as if the person is with whoever's using the base Switch. This essentially, it's kind of complicated to explain it, but basically it allows you to play games that are typically only couch co-ops, such as New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, in an online setting.
Yeah, so I really like that idea, but I would put that high up on the very unlikely list. Another idea to even expand on that is possibly have your co-op partner, I guess you could really call them, play as Luigi in, Super Mario Odyssey 2 in the future. I think that would be really fun as well. There's just like a plethora of possibilities with that. Another thing that probably won't happen, but would be really good and make Switch Online even more worth. And for that, I would think they would have to raise the price with that idea that you have, but as we've both said, probably won't end up happening. So guys, that's going to be it for the video. Be sure to leave a comment below letting us know what you think should be added into Switch Online to make it more worth its price and worth your time. Any of the ideas on our list, along with any ideas that you have, be sure to leave a comment below. Be sure to click like and subscribe. We're at 40K now, and we're going to push for 50K in 2020. So I hope you guys stick around for that. Be sure to follow both of our Twitters along with joining our Discord. All will be linked below. And this is PJ from the Switch Stop.
And I'm Thomas from the Switch Stop, signing off. Peace.